I want to get to Kayla Tausche in D.C. because we do have an announcement from the office of the U.S. Trade Rep. Kayla.
USTR, David, is now confirming that Phase 1 deal in a statement attributed to Ambassador Bob Lighthizer as well as Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. They call this landmark, unprecedented, and making critical progress. They also say it is a fully enforceable deal, the only details of which, the statement says, are structural reforms and other changes, and also that China will make substantial additional purchases of U.S. goods. It also says that in response, the U.S. has agreed to modify its Section 301 tariff actions in what it calls a significant way. The modifications it outlines in this statement are what we reported earlier, maintaining that 25% tariff on the vast majority of Chinese goods that are seeing those charges when they arrive on U.S. shores. That's about $250 billion worth of goods. But that September 1st tranche of tariffs that hits about $120 billion of goods, that rate is going to be cut from 15% to 7.5%. We're still awaiting details on exactly what additional modifications USTR has outlined and what perhaps those substantial purchases of U.S. goods entail. But certainly the administration hailing this as a win and saying that it is a landmark and unprecedented deal. Guys, back to you.
So, Kayla, we can now say there is a Phase 1 trade agreement with the Chinese?
Correct. Both sides have agreed to this in principle. The Chinese have announced this as a deal. They are hailing it as a deal and committing publicly to signing it. That is several steps further than the Chinese have been willing to go in the past, even though some have pointed out, David, that that press conference that the Chinese are holding does not include Liu He, the vice premier, who has been the lead negotiator, and includes lower-level officials at the vice minister level. Even so, it is still a significant milestone in this progress. We're just still awaiting quite a bit more detail.
Right. So we think those details have been worked out, but they're just not sharing them at this point?
We don't know, David. We've asked the White House, we've asked the U.S. Trade Representative, we've asked all of our sources about this. I told you what I know, which is that the administration was trying to secure a $200 billion figure for those purchases, of which about $40 billion would have been agriculture. President Trump wanted $50 billion in agriculture, and there was some haggling over those numbers. For whatever reason, we haven't gotten a tick-tock of exactly what happened behind the scenes. For whatever reason, those numbers do not appear in this deal, so you have to assume they were not agreed.